Hey guys, it's Allie, and in today's video, I want to jog your memory a little bit and talk about American Girl dolls that you might have forgot existed. American Girl has released so many dolls over the years. Some get talked about a lot on social media, a lot of people own them in their collections, but I find that there are a lot of dolls that kind of get pushed to the side, sometimes even by American Girl themselves, and I kind of forget that they exist, especially in the Truly Me line. So I'm going to be giving you guys the list of some dolls that I feel like no one talks about and you may or may not have forgot existed at times. So we're gonna start off this list with one of my personal favorite dolls who is underrated, and that is Kaya. I feel like she gets forgotten a lot, especially by American Girl, as they never release anything new for her collection. She's a stunning doll and I absolutely recommend getting a Kaya. I have a modern Kaya who is underrated. Underrated dolls is a whole nother video that I'm working on, but I feel like just because American Girl never promotes Kaya and she's not that popular to see in people's collections, she's quite forgettable in the historical line. The next doll is another doll that I own and absolutely love, and that is Caroline Abbott. She was only available for a few years, and she is known for her stunning and unique turquoise light blue eyes that I absolutely love. Because she was only available for such a short time, I feel like a lot of people forget that she even existed, and Caroline, as I said earlier, is known for her eyes, so a lot of people will customize a Caroline or use the eyes specifically for that. Seeing an intact Caroline doll with no flaws, with a perfect wig, is a rarity on AGIG, so I feel like she's very forgettable. The next one is a pair of dolls, and that is Cecile and Mary Grace. Just like Caroline, these two dolls were only available for a few years, and because of that, not as many people own them. Mary Grace dolls are super popular for customs because the face mold is used in customs frequently, and I love Cecile as well, but I feel like there are other dolls that look similar to her, like Gabriella, which makes her a bit more forgettable in my opinion since Gabriella was more recent. But I really do wish that American Girl kept this duo around longer as they are super pretty. The next doll is Rebecca Rubin. So she is still available from American Girl and she's been available for over a decade, but American Girl never really promotes her that much. They don't really add anything new to her collection. So I feel like she gets pushed to the side by American Girl. And she's also not as popular as she used to be. The next doll is one that I mentioned in my least favorite dolls that American Girl has ever made video, and that is Kaylee. I feel like she looks very basic in my opinion. There's no super unique standout features to her. I don't see her a lot on Instagram. She's an older girl of the year as well, and she had a very small collection, and I feel like nobody talks about Kaylee. A few of you guys in the comment section of that video did mention that you have Kaylee and love Kaylee, which is super cool, but I feel like in the AG community overall, nobody talks about Kaylee. This next doll is another one I listed in that video, and that is Nikki Fleming. She's also one of the more forgettable girl of the years in my opinion. She doesn't really have any standout pieces in her collection or a standout feature in her appearance, so I feel like she is forgettable. Next up is Sage. Now, when I am reciting my list of girl of the years from the very beginning to the current girl of the year, the one that always slips my mind is Sage. You had McKenna right before Sage. Her gymnastics stuff, especially her bunk beds, that was all over social media and AGTube. She had a really good movie, the first girl of the year movie since Krissa. And then you have Sage, who she also does have a movie, but I feel like her stories aren't as captivating as McKenna's were. Even Isabel, who came right after Sage, she had the pink hair, she had all the dance stuff, which I know a lot of people dislike. I like it as a dancer. And Sage just falling in the middle, she feels very forgettable next to those two dolls who have very distinct personalities in my opinion. Sage's whole thing was art, and there was like the beige day. I haven't seen that movie in so long and I own the DVD. I am a fan of the way that Sage looks. Back in 2013 when she came out, I was a huge fan of her and I did want a Sage doll. I still haven't gotten one to this day, but I don't think she's on my wish list anymore. I do like some of her outfits, but I just feel like a lot of Sages I see nowadays have hair that's really crazy and in bad condition, so nobody posts her. Her stories aren't as memorable as some other dolls, and she's just kind of one of the more forgettable, more modern girl of the years. Next up is Gabriella. She is another girl of the year that constantly slips my mind. I'm always like, wait, 2017? Who was the girl of the year? Now this could be because I actually picked up my Gabriella doll in 2018 and not 2017, but just the fact that she was a reused girl of the year, there was less hype around Gabriella than there are for other girl of the years. And about a month or two after Gabriella was released, we got Tenny, who had an arguably better collection than Gabriella. American Girl made a bigger deal about Tenny and Logan's release than they did for Gabriella. Z also might have came out that year. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure she did though. So all of these other dolls just really overshadowed Gabriella. She's reused, and a lot of people will confuse Gabriella dolls with Truly Me 46 as they do look very similar, so there's even less uniqueness to Gabriella's appearance. The last character doll on this list is Z Yang. I addressed this in my least favorite dolls American Girl has ever made video as well, but she feels like an afterthought. Since Tenny Grant was supposed to be the girl of the year for that year, but they replaced her with Gabriella, they didn't want to scrap Tenny or any of her accessories, so they created a new line for her called the Contemporary line. And you can't just have a doll line with one character doll, kind of two if you count Logan, but he's part of Tenny's story. So they made Z Yang into a doll, which I'm not a huge fan of, as I feel like Z is supposed to be an original character from the American Girl web series, and even though American Girl has other character dolls, this character of Z was not meant to be mass produced when they first created the character. So it really felt like an afterthought, just adding a mole to an already existing and still available Truly Me doll. I think she's still available. I honestly don't know what dolls American Girl retires nowadays. Similar to what I said with Gabriella, you had Gabriella, Tenny, and Logan all released in that same year, so they all really overshadowed Z's release, and I feel like no one talked about her as much as they did with Tenny. Moving on to the Just Like You's, the Truly Me's. There are a lot here, and since these dolls don't have stories, we will power through this. There are currently 91 Truly Me's that have ever been made, and some of them are definitely more forgotten, or I don't see them as often as others. So I'm going to quickly just share with you guys the Truly Me's that I find nobody ever talks about. So we're gonna start with Just Like You 7. I never see this doll anywhere on AGIG. She is a light-skinned classic mold with blue eyes and some light brown hair with bangs, and I feel like the only dolls with this wig that I see are the ones that have brown eyes. So I feel like Just Like You 7 is a really unique doll in the Just Like You line that nobody ever talks about, and you probably forgot or didn't even know that she existed. The next one is Just Like You 8. She has bright green eyes that kind of remind me of Felicity. This doll is pretty much Felicity with bangs in my opinion. And of course, since she's one of the first Truly Me dolls, she has to have bangs. So she has a light brown, kind of reddish brown hair with bangs. Backtracking a bit, we have Just Like You 5. Classic mold with dark brown eyes, and she has a light brown reddish hair with bangs. Another doll nobody talks about. Just Like You 17 is similar to 5, except she has blue eyes and she's really cute as well. Her last Me outfit was the True Spirit outfit, and that's when I first got into American Girl dolls themselves, and I have never seen this doll other than on American Girl Wiki, and especially for being one of the dolls on this list who retired more recently, I guess. I have never seen this doll in my life. 36 is another very rare doll. I hear she goes for quite a lot on eBay as well. She has shoulder length red hair with some hazel eyes. Classic mold again. Do you see, American Girl? You make way too many classic mold dolls that a bunch of them are getting forgotten. Give us more face molds. Give us new face molds. Thank you. But she is a really cute doll who is not very popular and is easily forgotten in this line. I always like to think of Just Like You 48 as the sister doll to 36, since they both have the same style of wig and nobody talks about either of them. This doll has some dark green hazel-like eyes, classic mold of course, and some black shoulder-length hair with bangs. Another doll I never see and nobody talks about, and she is an underrated beauty. So this doll I wouldn't necessarily say is forgotten about, but at least personally I always forget she exists, and that is 57. She is a very unique Truly Me doll with that wig. It's super short, and American Girl rarely makes dolls with this short of hair. She's kind of like Truly Me 59 with short hair in my opinion. When I look at this doll, I always envision like Little Sister or something like that, but I'd love to see a Truly Me 57 who's styled a bit more maturely in like Etsy clothing, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I personally like dressing my dolls like that. But I feel like I just never see this doll on AGIG that much. I can name a few people who own her, but she definitely does get overshadowed by some other Truly-Me's. And the last doll I'm going to talk about is a more recent one that I feel like this doll came out and no one talked about her, and that is Just Like You 69. She's pretty much 55 with no freckles and slightly different hair, so there's not a ton of creativity here, but I feel like nobody has her because everyone has 55 and she's very forgettable. That was my list of American Girl dolls that you probably forgot existed, or at least that I kind of forgot existed. Some of them are just because American Girl never promoted them. Sometimes they got overshadowed by other dolls, or sometimes they just retired really early on and nobody ever talks about them. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below, what dolls do you always forget exist? I would love to hear your answers because I'm very curious. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring that bell so you are notified whenever I post another American Girl video. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!